ஹலோ, யாரு? தன்ராஜா? நான் தான் ராமசாமி பேசுறேன்.
Hello, welcome to Vanga Peslam. Today my guest is my brother-in-law, Mr. Sanjay, and today we're going to discuss the movie Annatthe. Hello, Sanjay.
Hi, Sridhar.
So tell me a two-line story about Annatthe in 2 lines.
Annatthe is basically two movies in one.
Two movies in one. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the first movie?
First part of the movie is Pasamalar, but done by Rajinikanth, right? So you can't expect any kind of acting. It is just like, there's Rajinikanth telling someone that he loves his sister.
Okay.
The second part is like a very, like action-oriented, like they would try to do like a bacha in a different city kind of thing, which was disconnected.
Okay.
No question about it. But eventually, it's this sort of after a long time, Rajinikanth is in a movie where he is in a rural environment, village.
Okay, village. Okay.
I think everybody expected him to be sort of like there, and then there's like a dramatic moment is he goes to Calcutta and like does like his usual sort of like urban setting thing as well. So it's overall, before we get to like whether it was a good movie or a bad movie, it was like a surprising movie in my view.
Surprising. So why is it surprising?
Because I think there was, at least I had this expectation that he's going to come into this movie more as a subdued actor, right? Like he'd already like given up on his political ambitions, and he had gone through like a major health issue, a couple of health issues by this time. So I totally expected him to come in and be like a very like like a lot of advice, not a lot of action. I thought it's going to be all about how you should be good and life beyond Rajinikanth moment. But it was a surprise to me that he just still kept his like he carried the movie as one should expect.
So you're expecting like a Baba kind of movie, but it turned out to be something different. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I was thinking Valli kind of movie. That like, I was at that edge where I thought he's going to come in. There's going to be like people doing their thing, and he's going to be like advisor, right? That's what I thought his movie is going to be, which would have been like disappointing to me as a Rajinikanth fan.
Yeah, so I saw the movie and I said whatever I thought Rajinikanth movie should have, it had all the stuff, right? Some of them were overdone, which is fine, but I had like 3 main issues with the movie, right? Even though I saw the movie and everybody was shouting in the theater, so many comments were going on, I just said that, hey, this is Rajinikanth movie, what are you expecting, right? He's going to come down, do fight everything, the same thing. My main issue, 3 main issues from one thing was this sentiment, right? I think it was too much overdone. That's what I felt. We understand he loves his sister. So just like a couple of scenes and be done with it. The dialogues were almost like too melodramatic and all those kind of things. That was really bothering me. Second one was the reason she leaves Rajinikanth. The guy she leaves for. He's at 0 value, right? You know what I'm saying? If you're so in love with your brother and if you're going to leave him for this guy, that guy should be like a Vijay Sethupathi or a Vijay or even a Kamala Hassan. You know what I'm saying? But this guy turned out to be like nobody. He had 0, right? He had 0 impact and he was not introduced. Suddenly becomes a shock and this and that and also so that was that. Third one was the villains. One of the biggest Rajinikanth thing is he always has strong villains, right? Right from Padayappa, Basha.
Yeah.
Even like Annamalai also, even Pete also had like this guy, right? A lot of strong villains, right?
Strong villain, yeah.
These 2 guys are just like caricatures, and this guy is talking in Hindi and this guy has no idea why the brother thing was, brother thing was, no idea what's going on there. But yeah, but apart from that, like you said, it's a typical Rajinikanth movie. Right, he had some decent comedy bit. People were really pissed off in the theater about that whole Kushbu and Meena contribution. But I totally get it, right? They won't have like a nostalgic feeling. They brought in both of them. They had like some decent dialogues, decent scenes, not like earth-shattering, but they had their moment and they moved on, which is what they're supposed to do, right? They came, they had some impact, and they just moved on. That's it. The movie totally shifts to a different place. But yeah. That was my thing.
I don't think that, to me, the whole, like the first part was overextended. No question about it. it should have been just funnier, not like dramatic. There's no question about it, right? Like keep it funny, you're good. You know, you could have kept it's the director's fault more than anybody else there. Just like overextended it for the wrong reasons. But if you think about Meena and Kushbu, right, like people who are like Rajinikanth fans would like recognize like these little things, right?
Yes,
like where they were, the previous movies, all that kind of stuff. But overall, like I don't think anyone on the supporting cast was expected to do anything.
Yeah, that's
Just,
what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Look at him and be happy and leave,
Yeah,
but that was their whole thing. But villain, yeah, I think that was a very like that was like probably the fatal mistake for the movie is first not picking the right villain,
Yes.
and second like defocusing like everything, right? Like even if they had said like there's one guy who is like this big guy, and they should have set him up first. They should have said like this guy's a huge guy here. His brother is like a lowly person that Rajinikanth is going to beat up first. Like they should have set this up right. It's like bad storytelling, right? Like he's not a story writer. I think the director. I don't know whether I don't know. Like I saw this other movie.
No, he has done some good movies, but probably the problem with maybe he thought okay Rajinikanth and this, but apparently this entire story was fully narrated Rajinikanth, and he like chose this movie because he said he wanted his fans, his most recent young fans, to know about affection and love and all those. So that's what he chose. So apparently he told him like 3 stories, but he chose this one because he thought like more value. But yeah, that was there. Yeah, but I thought, see the Prakash Raj, even though he's not a villain, he had a very, very, very good role, right? So even if they had carried on that, like a typical Tamil movie, he like marries the brother and then he starts doing the bad thing. That would have been okay, fine. Yeah, we get it. But
continuity.
Prakash Raj is done. That's it. Half literally is done.
Yeah, they wasted him for sure. Right? Like I think they had chemistry. Like I
very
thought,
good chemistry.
Like, when Rajinikanth was like acting like funny and everything with him, there was some chemistry, right? I thought that's the one that's going to eventually become like the bigger problem. Like he goes to Calcutta, comes back, and this guy is the bigger problem. I think they wasted Prakash Raj, like incredible actor, no question about it. Like he had great chemistry with Rajinikanth. I don't think he has never acted with Rajinikanth before, right?
So he did a lot of Rajinikanth. They did. He came in a very small scene with like Padayappa. He had some small scenes.
Okay.
At the end, he came as a commissioner and stuff like that. But not like a full-fledged movie with it.
Yeah, like I felt like he had like the one person who would have carried it.
Yeah,
Jagapati Raju or whatever, Babu or whatever that guy. Why would they? I don't know. Like they should just come up earlier.
He could have been a great villain, but the brother angle, step brother, this one is also very, very confusing, right?
Yeah.
And it was confusing.
That's another movie. Do another movie with them. Who cares? Like we're not going to watch it, but you can do it.
Yeah. And at the end, like what's the name? Like Kitty Suresh is asking, "Who is hitting you? Who is hitting you?" Really? The entire media is talking about Annatthe, right? Everywhere Annatthe, and she has no clue about who is doing it. Very good. But see, I said like they could have done a better job, but I don't know why though. I don't know. But what are the most surprising is even real Rajinikanth fans. I don't know, maybe they are real or not, but so many others have the same complaint. Oh my God, it's too old right now. We're all grown up. We're all matured right now. Why are you doing this old story and all those stuff? What do you think about that?
So I have this sort of like very the whole narrative right now is elite media versus regular people, right? So however you're gonna measure like the movie's success is money, right? He's already done 200 plus crores 10 days, like in 2021 highest grossing movie. It probably will be like number 4, number 3 in like his thing, right? Like it's likely going to do better than Peta, I think, mostly because of inflation. But the media narrative was all it was almost hypocritical, right? They, how do you go into like a Rajinikanth movie and say things like, I can't believe there is no like cogent storyline. That's no. What, like, do you really think Badsha was like a cogent storyline?
Badsha, like still people have doubts, right? How can he fall in love with Nagma, who is Raghuvar's daughter? Who was his main villain?
How do you take the autocurrent part of his life and then like say, oh, this is like terrible, but it's just that Raghuvaran like just played like an incredible role. Like people were like, oh, this is like a good like a repartee movie, right? So this, I think one thing was like, it's a very hypocritical thing about how this movie is measured. Like you have to go into this movie assuming this movie is made around Rajinikanth, and then as much as long as you get a lot of like screen time for Rajinikanth, everybody's going to be happy. If you're going to say Rajinikanth fans are going to be disappointed, like Hindu wrote like a huge thing about like how this could have been done better and they disappoint Rajinikanth fans. I'm like, no, I'm not sorry. Like personally, I'm happy he's on screen. He's 70 years old. He isn't doing like a 20-year-old character like Shivaji Ganesan did in his like older age. And I'm kind of happy that he just came in and like showed, it was like a fashion show basically for me. Right? Like I'm looking at him going like
fashion show, but he just came in only like the same costume, right? That he had the same.
No, I've been like looking at every one of his shirts.
Oh,
right?
really?
Like every one has a different color,
okay,
right?
okay.
They all have the same kind of shirt, but it's all different color. Like it's rural, but it's like Rajinikanth rural, right? It's a different story. Like Khadi, but it's like whatever smart Khadi, right?
Yeah, if you like think about it, it's kind of the same costume that that Ajit wore on this person, right? Even
a
rural. Yeah.
I think that's like a superstar. Like how do you make like a brand around this person? It's like basically like put like a bunch of like outfits on him. Ask him to do like there was not even like a good dialogue, repeatable dialogue in this whole thing, right? Like it was not like
that's a big drawback. That's a very big drawback. Yeah,
because of this like the first part all the time tangame. Like I'm like okay, let's figure out something where you can like beat somebody up and say something that could have been the picking up. I mean, that didn't work.
The punchline was missing. Even the action scenes, as well as like the sentimental scene, you cannot level scene. Oh my god, that one dialogue when Rajini spoke to, I mean, even the last movie Darba, they had the amazing scene at when the daughter dies. She had like a very, very impactful, like a 5-minute scene all by herself. People are, oh my god, what a great scene. Even though the movie is, but the people are like, wow, man, good scene. Here,
it was like a truly sad moment. That's like,
we can really say, oh my god, that's a great scene. I mean, same thing with like Peter too. Even the Peter had a lot of great Rajinikanth moments, right? It had a lot of amazing, lot of great introductions. The way he turns whenever the people are watching him, suddenly there are a lot of great. Here, it's all the same stuff though, yeah. But I think that the comedy portion was really sad for me. They had 3 comedians, but nobody could do comedy. That's so sad. With Suri couldn't do much, Satish couldn't do much. It was very sad for me. But to me, surprisingly, like Nayanthara had a very good role. She had a very good. I thought she just come and dance and go, but she came. She sat with her, and then people are like shouting in the screen, where like Rajini, she's like cooking food for Kirti Suresh, right? And then Rajini is telling, please feed her this, feed her that. People are like, oh, Nayanthara has not eaten yet. Why don't you ask her? That was funny.
Nayanthara, I think, I didn't really get like what, how she saw this movie, but like in my view, like it seemed like very like a tactical decision he took. Like I'm not gonna have like a major love interest in this movie, right? Like and almost like Meena and Kushbu coming there was like a very like shoddy explanation of like why he didn't get married earlier.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like they're like, oh, you talked to me, but we didn't want to get married. You didn't want. That's it. Like move on. Let's go to the next stage.
Yeah.
Oh, music was
The music was good. I like the songs.
Yeah.
The songs that Sara, the song was the amazing song, beautiful song.
I think even the theme music was good.
Theme music.
Iman is like, I don't know how he like came up with this, like, because it's like very hard. What are you gonna do in a rural environment? What are you gonna do? Like he did a good job, I think. Overall, he kept like.
Yeah, I mean, it had a very, very good intro song. It had a very good romantic song, very good pathos song. Yeah, it had all. Yeah, last thing, yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's like a very like I was like very looking forward to that. But
they shot this. They started the movie in 2019 October or something, before COVID. Right? They're supposed to be done in a 40-day schedule for Rajinikanth. That's it. It's done. We're done with it. It's supposed to come for like 2020 April release. Because of COVID, the whole thing got thing. See, that's why I think what you said earlier about all the politics and stuff. So it's way before. This whole politics changed in the last 1 year, like maybe like 6 or 7 months it changed. Before that, you still had the idea of going into politics, right?
But
So,
did you notice that there was any political thing in there?
no,
Because he felt very like calm in the whole movie. Like it was a very
But
calm.
even the song also, even the opening song also, now when I listen to it, there are like so many advising, but in the movie, it didn't really impact them. And when hearing the song in the theater, it had no impact to me. Whereas other songs, like Arunachalam song, all those songs, when you hear it, you can really feel the impact. A lot of he's selling a lot of advice he's giving you. Muttu song, Varuvan, all those things you can see. But here, only after the second time, oh really? Okay, fine. He's trying to tell something. It was good. Yeah, I mean, there's so many lot of what you say, like divided opinions right now. So many. I mean, I know that the movie will make money, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Apparently,
To me, this truly is like a test of his like last 2 or 3 movies kind of thing, and I think he's sort of like ready to just take the mantle. Like he's just doing the same thing that he's ever like, in the next 2 or 3 movies, like I'd say he does another movie, like the next 2 movies, he's not going to change. And I think the sort of the media expects him to change. Like that's the real problem, right?
Because the business, right? Because it's a business. If you're putting 100 crores on Rajinikanth, you expect to take the money out. Right. So I went to a dinner party like last weekend, and one of my friends said, why can't Rajinikanth do like roles like Amitabh Bachchan is doing right now? I said that will never happen. Right? That can never happen. Because there was a movie called Chehre. I don't know if you watch on Netflix. They called Chehre, where like just like 5 people, just dialogues, right? And it's amazing acting, man, with that Bachchan in that movie. And people are saying, why can't Rajinikanth do like that? And who sit and watch Rajinikanth talk for 2.5 hours? Nobody's going to watch that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, that's to me, that is the problem, right? Like if you create like a mass influence movie, it'll always win. With Rajinikanth, there's no, like, he doesn't have to try too hard. Directors don't have to try too hard. It'll work. But if he goes and does something like Valli or even Baba or, all these, like, the things that he's tried before hasn't worked. Even when he was at, like, when he was like visibly looking at changing his perspective and everything. But now there's just this Rajinikanth fans' expectation. He comes and does what he is expected to do. Like now he's like almost like a slave to the fans rather than like,
slave to the fan and then a slave to the business too, right? Nobody's going to put up money for Rajinikanth if they say, you know what, it's going to be just like Rajinikanth and just one heroine, just like 2 people. That's it. It's going to be dialogues and emotion. No opening song. I'm sorry. I don't know if it does like a Mullu Malara movie now, will it even run? With a very
it's hard acting. Now.
Very hard, man.
Right? Because if you think about Mullu Malaram time frame, the audience was a limited audience for him. Even at that time, if you think of like, he was just like breaking out and people were surprised by the acting ability at that point. But it was a small group of people, like people who, are now or the kernel of his fan base. But 90s fan base, like me, right? I'd be like, why? I'm not going to sit 2.5 hours to listen to Rajinikanth cry. Like, I don't want Rajinikanth crying. Like, every movie that Rajinikanth has either cried or, he did cry in this one, but not too much. But like when he like loses his family or something like that, it's like, it's been dramatically bad. Like, it's just like a sad, Naan Sigam Manidan was the only one I think I went, his sister dies and his mom dies. And I thought, okay, this is going to be like a dramatically bad movie. I'm going to hate it. But then he comes out and he kills everybody else, which is good.
I still think he can do a good movie, just simple like a comedy movie, like a Thambik and the Uri. He can do now.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Easily he can do that. Everybody will be fine, a full-length comedy movie. And he can do comedy. And he's proved to do comedy. So I don't know why. But again, I think it all comes to business, right? It all comes down to business. And like you cannot really fault the director here because all the directors been like chosen by Rajinikanth, right? Like for 5 or 6 candidates, he chose him. Even like this guy gave him 3 options, he chose this option. So apparently, 23 people have told story to him so far, and he has chosen Karthik Subbaraj next.
Karthik Subraj, oh, that's going to be like another one of the society
Yes.
movies.
So apparently, the Acha thing, that's going to be the thing basically. So we'll see what happens with that. So that's going to be.
But still youngsters, right? Like he's choosing like younger directors.
Yeah, because again, that's a same problem. But he cannot go back to like Ravi Kumar and P. Vasu now because he knows the fan base has changed, right? He knows the fan base has changed. He knows the audience, everybody has changed right now. And the people are very smart nowadays, right? Nobody has time to even sit and watch all those. People literally are shouting in the stream. Oh my God, too much sadness, move on. People are screaming. Even the first day for sure, like hardcore Rajinikanth fans is sitting in the screen because they have like no time. Again, the thing is, it's like a 2 hour and like a 45-minute movie. It could have easily been like a 2 hour 20 minutes movie. Easily. Easily. And it would have been a great movie.
Many things they could have cut out. Yeah.
A lot of things that are taken off, right? Very compact movie and very good. But anyway. So
yeah. Like they should hire like somebody who directed Clint Eastwood and just like, say, hey, go just edit the movie so that it's not like a long Western, right? Like that's the whole thing, right? Like Clint Eastwood movies in the earlier stages were apparently like long Westerns. And then he was like, this is like too much screen time. Let's reduce the.
He's still acting though, Clint Eastwood. My goodness. He just had a movie. I just saw his movie where he's a drug mule. Did you see the movie? I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny. Man, he had a sex scenes and everything in that movie. I'm like, what the hell?
I don't know. He's worth like that. I mean, to me, that is like the same problem that Rajinikanth has, right? Like, because Clint Eastwood movies are mostly his movies.
Yes, his movie, yes.
Right? No director can be like, hey, I'm gonna like this. Like, no, I know what I'm doing, right?
It's not only now. Even like before also, right? Even like 20, 30 years also, he's the one like directing the movies. He's one making amazing.
Yeah, that I think is Rajinikanth's fate is very like similar in the sense that like there is a limited sort of boundary beyond which he's going to go. But I don't know. This has been like my like last 3-4 days. Like after I watched the movie, and I didn't read the reviews before I watched the movie, but after I watched the movie, I went and read the reviews, and the reviews are all uniformly bad, right? Like from people who wrote on the the website reviews to like Hindu and Indian Express, they're all bad. Like they're like, oh, this I can't believe it. I'm like, sorry. I think reviewers need to watch a few of Rajinikanth's like 80s and 90s movies, go talk to real people, and then start writing reviews.
Yeah,
because you can't like expect like Rajinikanth is not trying to win an Oscar.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody has to tell them that. Like he's not trying to win an Oscar. No one is going to be like faulted for giving more screen time for Rajinikanth.
I know.
Okay. It's like IBM, like no one got fired for selecting IBM in the 90s. Same thing with Rajinikanth. Like you give him more screen time, people are going to be like happy. Like, why are you complaining?
I mean, that's what again, it's a movie. I don't think like Siva is a Rajini fan, but Siva is a commercial director. Whereas Karthik Subraj was like a diehard Rajini fan, right? So he made a movie.
Siva seemed looked like he like let him, just like he gave him like a lot of rope, like do whatever you want. As long as I have 2 movies in one, so that it looks like I wrote a lot, because I think he was a writer too.
He's a writer too, yeah. Apparently, like he didn't write the dialogues for this movie. He only had the story. Somebody else wrote the dialogue, or not for something happened. But anyway, but it was good. One of the best comment I heard that movie after I saw on the review was one guy said after I watched the movie when I went home, I just wanted to like punch my sister in the face. Too much sentiment. That was the best comment I ever heard. I was laughing.
I think the audience has gone past the Pasamalar. Because Pasamalar was like painful too. I don't know if you watched the movie, but it was a horrible movie.
But at that point in time, they did have all those dragged out scenes, right? At the point, because a theater was the only option. Nobody's going to run away now. Here, 1 second you cry, there's a you go to your phone, watch something else. It happens like a very, very quick thing. Yeah. But again, if you think about it, even like Tirupachi was like a brother-sister movie, but it only focused for maybe like half an hour. That's it. Then it's all about action. That's it. They just moved on. It's all about like saving the before the baby is born, the city should be cleaned. That's it. They moved to this story there, though. But anyway.
Yeah.
So this one I want to ask you. So here in the US, there's a thing called Mount Rushmore. They say like the Mount Rushmore, those things. So here, what are your Mount Rushmore Rajinikanth movies? Top 4 Rajini movies.
Top 4 Rajinikanth movies.
Yeah.
Bacha, obviously. Mullu Malarum. I love Mullu Malarum, like even when I was super young. Johnny.
Okay.
Not many people like it, but I love that movie. And the most recent one, I mean, that's the struggle for me, is I loved Kala.
Oh, Kala.
Kala
Wow.
was like,
Okay.
yeah, Kala was like very impactful to me because the shirt is actually from there.
Wow. Okay.
That's why I bought the shirt.
Kala, strange choice. Kala, interesting.
Yeah, the most recent one, like it's like recency bias, right? Because I'd watched what is that movie? I'm gonna forget. I should remember this. The one that I really hated was the movie where he was like building the dam. That was a terrible movie. Like we should not have.
This one, yeah. That K.S. Ravi Kumar movie, right?
Yeah, it should. I mean, he could have just skipped that movie. I don't know why he did it. I watched it and I was not happy with it.
That was a flop movie too, hugely flop movie too.
Yeah, I didn't understand why he did it. Like there was no like value. Right?
No, that was because of his friend, right? The producer was a Kannada guy. He was his friend, and he has to do this. And I forgot. I think the Rockline Venkatesh or somebody the producer.
Oh, okay. So I that's the one movie I would not, like recent movies. Kala somehow like got into it. Like I loved Shivaji. At that time, I thought Shivaji was going to be my like favorite movie of all time. But Shivaji was like too much, like too rich a movie. Kala turned out to be like the old person trying to like
the first Indian movie was very good. I liked that movie too. The Indian movie was good too. I liked it too.
Yeah, I liked Andhran. Yeah, the first one definitely I loved it. This is amazing entertainment value. 2.0 I didn't like it. I
had no idea what the movie was about. Seriously, it was so confusing.
Yeah, it was like very like I mean it was the highest grossing movie for him, and that's surprising. But
again, the highest grossing is not a big thing now, simply because of the number of theaters it goes into. Right, by the time the movie is even released, they made the money. Right, people are all shouting about like Bigel, all those stuff, reviews, and she said, "I'm not scared." The producer, I sold the money at a huge profit. Why am I scared about reviews now? I made my money. But that's it.
Yeah, 2.0 was like that was a very poorly sort of managed movie. I felt like it had no like the story was a story, right? Like they tried to like go back between good and the bad version of the same robot thing, and it made no sense. But it somehow, like you said, like somehow they oversold it and got.
I see again, the first part was same thing. Rajinikanth doing comedy, Rajinikanth doing villain, right? That's amazing. When the bad guy Rajinikanth is amazing thing to watch, right? Nobody's, I mean, it's ridiculous.
I spent like I watched actually 2.0 twice. So first time I was not able. I was in a call. I had to leave because I had a work thing, so I had to leave in the middle of the movie. Then I thought maybe I should go back and watch the whole thing because I thought maybe I'm like not reviewing it the right way, but it turned out to be like I didn't like it. But what was yours? What was your top 4 or 5 movies?
Rajinikanth movies.
Everything. I think you should say everything.
Rajinikanth is Rajinikanth. I would say the Mullu Malaram is the first one for me, right? Mullu Malaram is one. My favorite all time is Thambi Kanduvar. That is my favorite. That is when I really fell in love with Rajinikanth. Even though I'm a huge Kamal Haasan fan, that's why I thought, okay, you know what, I can watch this movie too. That's the only thing I felt I really liked the Thambi Kanduvar. Right? Then Basha too. The Basha is a great movie to me. Basha is a great movie.
Yeah.
And fourth one, I really don't know though. Fourth one, I'm trying to think. It's a great Rajinikanth movie.
The recent movies that now
recently, I mean, again, all the actions of Peta, like even even people are really hating this Annatthe movie. I still thought, because I went to see certain things, I got those certain things, I'm done. That's it. Like you can't expect too much. It had a great opening scene for Rajinikanth. It had a great intro song for him. It had some comedy bits. Even though it's not great, but some comedy bits. Awesome action block, right? So that he could have done a couple of things with the villains and stuff. Maybe it could have worked, right? Again, if you think about it, Master was a huge hit because of the villain. Vijay Sethupathi was ridiculously great in Master, right? So that's the same thing. If he had like an amazing villain, then something would have been there. But again, that same thing, like I said, like the sister's husband, he had zero impact, right? That is so sad though. If he's such a great brother, sister, if you're leaving for him, it should be some amazing guy. But
The Sarath Babu Mari.
yeah, exactly, right? It's the same thing, yeah.
It used to be like Sarath Babu was like is like anti, like dark hero, and then you have always a Sarath Babu as like the good-looking but good person thing. They should have picked somebody like that. I don't think they did a good job. I had like a very like even though it was minor, it created me so much. Is when Rajinikanth comes in the bike in Calcutta, right? They made him wear a helmet, and I was just thinking, like, this is like the presidential
PSA, PSA,
right?
Yeah.
Like I was just thinking, like, this is all like, don't smoke cigarettes and all. I get it, but like, why would you make him a helmet? Like, there have been like presidential candidates who've been sunk because they wore like a helmet in like a thing.
But he has to, right? Because next thing everybody will be up in arms. Oh my God, there's no care for public safety, blah, blah, blah. Seriously, right? The cancel culture will kill him.
That broke my heart. When I watched that, I was like, why didn't this guy like, make a big deal? But by the way, Vijay Sethupathi, I'm a huge fan, and obviously I think Vikram Veda, I hope they make a second one. And all those, like, the series of movies he did, which like was dramatically good, like at a stage that he is in, and he's doing all these like just like dark and beautiful movies. But in the recent two movies was not good.
No, recent to which one?
He's through that.
Yeah. I mean, right now he's in the stage where he's just like signing up movies. That's all he's doing. He's just doing movies. I don't even know where he has the time though. Seriously, I don't know where he has the time to do this movie, go there, go here. Oh my goodness. And he's doing the Kamal Haasan movie too, no? Which is almost done. Vikram is almost done. So.
I don't even know. Like, thankfully in Peta, it was like a very impactful role. But like in the Netflix movies that he acted in, it was just really bad.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know, but maybe I think he has to go back. That is one of the complaints that people had of him, right? I think like go back choosing good movies. Stop
overexposure.
Stop acting in every movie you can sign. Just go back and do really good movies.
Yeah, because I always thought like this guy could become like a force, right? He's kind of a force now.
He's still a force too. He has like 13 movies on the pipeline. 13 movies which are done filming and ready to be released. So the 4 of them have already come, but still like another 9 to go. And he's signing even more now. It's crazy. And imagine that if the Kamal Haasan movie comes and he has a very good role in that movie, again his market will grow up. He'll come back now.
I hope so. Okay, I think he's like it's an incredible actor, no question about it. No one is going to be like, oh, he's like a bad actor. But a couple of movies, he just like had like bad luck, right? Bad writing, bad directors, and some of the recent
again, it's all his choice, right? No, that's what I'm saying. Nobody is. He's not just like going into a movie one day, the set one day and then saying that it's all been told to him before. He knows what the story is.
But if he's making 13 movies, do you think he even reads the script? Because
maybe I don't know.
He should not have read
That's a problem.
Yeah, there's a fantasy thing, the Raja, Sethupathi, whatever.
Yeah, that was a bad movie.
What a terrible, the script.
Tughlaq Darbar was another bad movie. I didn't like it. That was a bad movie.
Yeah, it was like fastly done. It's like, fast fashion kind of movies, which I don't think is a good idea.
No, but
I think the next movie I hope is like a good one. Like my role.
Definitely, it's going to be with Subbaraj. Then it's going to be an action movie, obviously. So
yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Kavala, they had like a good villain. You have to give it to like.
Kavala was amazing. Yeah. Nana Patekar was awesome.
Yeah, like the choice was like heavy. Because you can tell the rest of the people kind of go in the background if you have like a really good villain, right? Like here the problem was there were too many villains and everybody's trying to like take the the front kind of thing. And I think that does the same thing. He says the same thing to everybody, right? It's not like he's changing his style or anything like that. So that's the mistake of Shiva. Sritai Shiva.
Sirtha is the movie he did with Karthi, which was a hit though. But
Yeah.
he's a good director. But again, maybe it's again the same thing at all the expectations, Rajinikanth, this and that, and then he has to give a very powerful, impactful role to Kirti Suresh, some dramatic scenes for her to perform, all those things. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen Kirti Suresh in a couple of movies. I really like her. She's kind of like,
Yeah, she's pretty good. She's
very like feminine kind of heroine. Here, I think she got a lot out of this movie.
No, I mean, it'll always be like in a career, right? Like she should
Yeah.
done a movie. He should
I was
done a
like,
movie with
this
Rajinikanth.
could make her from
Yeah,
now on,
yeah,
you know?
that's it. Yeah.
What is the girl's name who acted in Shivaji?
Shreya.
Shreya.
Yeah.
I don't know if she became big or not, but
No, she became a little bit big, but now she's married and happily settled now, so she's happy.
yeah, but I thought like that movie made her too. Like it was like, you know, like they gave her like a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
Unlike Nayanthara here, right? Like even Nayanthara, like, you know, like she had to carry her own weight, but not a lot of screen time, not a lot of romantic stuff. The song was awesome, obviously. But how old is Nayanthara? I don't know. Like she looks young in this movie.
I think she's
compared to
32 or
Rajinikanth,
33, I believe. She's 32 or 33.
Okay, then she's definitely young.
That my
Because-
guess.
Yeah. If you think about it, everybody looks younger than Rajinikanth. Rajinikanth did not like do
Yeah,
anything.
there is I think there is an 8-year age gap between Nayanthara and Kirti Suresh.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so Nayanthara is what? She's 36. 36.
Yeah. I think she carried herself pretty well. I think she's.
Yeah, she's doing amazing roles too. She did a lot of good roles. She's doing very good stuff.
Female superstar, la?
Female superstar.
Ah.
Yeah, she's doing a next movie with Vijay Sethupathi and Samantha, double heroine subject. Directed by a fiance. So we have to wait for that. It's supposed to be coming this month end. I don't know when it's coming or not. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm really hoping this movie becomes more of like a Mannan Mari.
Which movie?
It's like a you know you're not going to see it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Even as a Rajinikanth fan, you won't see it 3 or 4 times, but you will like refer to this at some point and be like, yeah, you know, it was a good, like, you know, like a fun movie to go watch. Like I watched it with
Yeah, that's
Nicole.
what I'm saying, right? In this movie, I cannot think of one memorable scene which I have to go and watch on YouTube.
Yeah. And
that's a big drawback.
I like took Nicole, who's never, I mean, she's watched another movie before. Separately, it was Mannan. No, Mannan. It was probably Kala or something like that, some heavy movie. Somebody who's never, will not get the whole like craziness that I have about Rajinikanth, enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Right? Even without like a lot. I mean, it was long and everything. That the complaint is always it's long, but compared to an English movie, it's obviously long. But you know, I feel like if this could be a movie where you can be like, you know, it's not forgettable, but at the same time, it's not going to be like the movie that makes Rajinikanth like top 10 or something like that at some point.
I know. Good. Anyway, thank you. So thank you for this. Please stop the recording. Hello. Thank you for watching my video. Please hit like and subscribe and keep watching. Thank you very much.